The future, the past, the VeejayCast.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. Episode 2 of the VeejayCast. For those of you listening, this probably sounds pretty normal. For those of you watching, you can tell, hey, you're somewhere else, man. And that's true. I am actually in my childhood bedroom right now. Childhood bedroom. Yep. So this right here, it's because I'm underneath my old bed. My bed had like a desk thing underneath it. My dad made this. Yeah, pretty good little build here. Really solid. Slept on there for a long time, and it worked out great. I got this little light right here that is pointed right at my face. It's kind of blinding, really, but otherwise I would have just been in the dark. So we're making it work. But yes, we're away from home. Try to get a little bit closer here. Here we are. Yeah, that's the move. That's real good right there. All right. Okay, so episode 2. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of things going on. All right. Let's see. This morning I played in the second round of the U.S. Open of Speedgolf, which was really cool. Really cool event. Very happy with how that went. I didn't perform all that great, but it was still really cool and good learning experience. Besides that, we had, what's it called? We watched the Spartan Super World Championships, so we caught up on that. We caught up on Hirox in Hamburg. And then the Sprint World Championships from Spartan happened just now. I caught like a couple little glimpses of that, but I haven't had time to watch it. I had to drive the 2 hours and change back from Temecula to Los Angeles, and that was something in itself. So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about for sure. But in the short term here, let's see if I can move this over. It's way better. Way better. There we go. Let's do that. Way better. So short term, we got decent training this week. Not too much. It was mostly just a little bit of volume and then some specific work trying to get ready for the U.S. Open. But the U.S. Open, it's like fitness is a component of it, but it's not just based on fitness, right? There's so much skill involved. In order to perform, there's a lot of intricacies with speed golf. So we will get into that for sure. Let me take out my handy dandy notes and let's start rolling through here. Start talk about a couple of things that we got on our mind. Let's just start with the last week. Went to work, did some work type stuff, came out of work. Only worked 2 days this week because we had to fly out on Thursday to Southern California, and it was solid. It was great. Working a little less kind of rips. You get paid less though. And that's not as conducive to success, really. But anyway, that's fine. Let's see, Thursday. Thursday was my birthday. Shout out Thursday. I was born on a Friday, but Thursdays are good too. I turned 27 this week, and that's a very adult age. It sounds like, oh, you're 27. You must have your shit together. I don't. I really don't. I really want to, but I'm not there yet. Not there yet. Let's see, can we get a little less harsh light? Like, this is so harsh. Can we make this look better here? Not really. I feel like that's too bright. Like, that's crazy bright. For those of you listening to audio, I'm farting around with this light that I got here, and we're just gonna have to make it work to the best of our ability. That's not bad. That's a little better. I mean, it's dark, but it's like, now it's not super harsh. There we go. Okay, we'll make that work. What were we talking about? Birthday. Yeah, 27. I'm 27 now. I feel like I really got to start advancing towards like getting something done because I am pushing 30. I got 3 years till I am 30 years old. And when you're 30, you better be a freaking adult. In my mind. Like, at least it sounds like it. Like, it sounds like, oh, I'm 30. I better be 30. 30. Yeah, birthday was good though. Hung out with Sarah and her family, and then flew to LA and was able to hang out with my dad, grab some dinner with my pops, Interesting story. My dad, his birthday is the day after my birthday. Pretty cool coincidence of timing there. So we came out, hung out on Thursday. I had to bail super early in the morning, like first thing in the morning. Head down, do a practice round at Temecula Creek Golf Course where the U.S. Open was being held, and got to play a round of golf with two of the best golfers there, which was really cool. World number one, his name was Robin Smith. Really cool individual from New Zealand. Absolute stick, great golfer, and then also a really good athlete in his own right too. Ran the first day, ran it 41 minutes. 18 holes. Incredible. On like a real golf course, not like just some open municipal flat thing. Like this had some hills, some twists and turns. Like there's character to this course. Pretty cool. And then I also played with Will Robbins, I think. So it's Robin Smith and Will Robbins. Will Robbins from the UK. D1 golfer, played D1 golf in the US, and then now he's a golf professional in the UK somewhere, maybe in the US. I don't know. He's from the UK originally, so that's all we know. British. So really cool dude. Got to play some golf with them, run around, learn a little bit from them. What happened after that? We grabbed a hotel, hung out with the Pops on his birthday, which is pretty cool. Actually, we got 3 birthdays in a row. So we have my best friend Jai on October 8th, my birthday on the 9th, and then my father's birthday on the 10th. So it's a really exciting week. Everyone's really lit up. Lots of parties, lots of energy. So that's pretty good. Pretty exciting stuff. But that was the week. It was just like travel, getting ready for the event. And then trying to maintain a little bit of volume, but nothing really intense. As far as training goes, I did like usual hour runs with some strides and stuff on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, did my last round of speed golf first thing in the morning on the birthday, and then went home, finished packing, caught the flight to LA, went down to the golf course at like 4:50 in the morning. On Friday, caught my round of speed golf. So I did speed golf Thursday, speed golf Friday, speed golf Saturday, and speed golf Sunday. So a lot of speed golf happened in the last 4 days, for sure. So that's pretty good. Let's just do our little training recap now, since we're talking about it. I feel like that's a fine thing to do. So Strava's been good to me. Let's see. Oh, we matched our volume from previous weeks anyway. Didn't really mean to, but we just did. Let's see. Last 2 weeks have been 34.5 miles, and then just about 34 even. This was 35 miles on the dot this week, which is pretty sweet. So last 3 weeks in a row, getting some decent volume in. Like nothing really intense, no crazy workouts this week, but actually running the speed golf event was intense enough so that's going to build some decent fitness. But let's look at the week's workouts. All right, so on October 7th, which was Tuesday, got 8 miles in on the treadmill. I think I got home late from work or something and wasn't able to get out. Like I try to get on the trails as much as possible. That's really where it's at. It's more dynamic. I think it's just better on the body, and it keeps me mentally engaged, and I just enjoy it a lot more. Like there's nothing better than getting out and putting some miles in on the trail. It's real special. So I try to do that. Since I couldn't do that, get on a treadmill. I got one of the curvy ones. I used to have a really bitchin' like super treadmill. It was a Tough Tread, which is an American brand, and they make each one to order, and this thing was like a $25,000 monster. 40% grade, went 22 miles an hour, I think, 22, 24 miles an hour, and it weighed like 900 and change pounds. Big steel monstrous device. Used it for some gait analysis, used it for a lot of really cool workouts, and it was a tank. It'd run forever. Like as long as you like take care of it, that thing's gonna run forever. So I liked it. It was really cool. But Rich Diaz, who had an HP Cosmos, which I think is a German company or something like that, which is another like super treadmill, kind of industry standard for metabolic testing. And so when you see guys getting tested doing their VO2 max or any like metabolic testing in that sense. Even like the cross country skiers when they're skiing on the big treadmill, those are all on HP Cosmos usually. So, but that thing went out, and those treadmills are mad expensive. Even just to replace parts on it are thousands and thousands of dollars, which is kind of ridiculous. But that Tough Tread is kind of like the American version of that, really beefy and really capable of doing a lot of cool things. So when Rich's tread went out, I decided, hey, I'll sell you this one. Sold it to him for like nothing, so that he could keep training and doing things like that. Because at the time, last summer, I was like I didn't care. I didn't care about training or anything. I wasn't going to, so I had no reason to hold on to that treadmill. So I sold him that one, got the curved one. Sarah really needed something to keep running, and she liked running on a treadmill. So we got that. That's the story of how I have a curved treadmill now. It makes you run like crap. It can really inspire bad habits. So I'm not a huge fan of it, but I am a huge fan of the convenience factor and the fact that it has a lifetime warranty. Everyone that runs on Nordic tracks, like there's a website dedicated to Nordic tracks braking and people having like horrible experiences with the warranties, things like that. I think it's called Horror Stories of Nordic Track or something like that. It's like a whole website dedicated to how Nordic Track perfectly times their warranty so that when the treadmill dies, means you're going to be SOL. So I was not going to get a Nordic Track, even though they're really cool. You know, they have great grade features and they have workouts, and usually that you can get like 40% grade on there, and that you can run good speeds, and they're pretty affordable. But you buy it, you know it's going to be great for like 2 years, and as soon as that warranty goes out, odds are you get like a 50-50 shot that the treadmill is going to explode, or it might last a few more years. I wasn't really ready to take that chance, personally. So I just got the curvy thing, and if I want to go run uphill, I'll just go outside. I live in Colorado. There's hills everywhere. So anyway, got the curved treadmill. Really long tangent just to explain. I did an hour run on a treadmill, and we went 8 miles. So good for us, you know, just cruising. Try not to build too many bad habits while you're on that thing. It encourages overstriding. Like if you have one of those curved treadmills, or if you're doing that for your Hirox workouts, or they love them at CrossFit gyms because they're super convenient. You can wheel them out. You can measure calories on those freaking things. It's gonna try to make you run like crap. You have to stay diligent, vigilant, one of those words. You gotta stay focused and make sure that you don't start running like crap because it rewards it. Like you will start running faster if you just start running a little further up on the curve. So, you know, take care of yourself, be an adult. You got this. Also, did a gym session that day. Starting to get back in the gym, just doing short workouts, not doing too much because I am still Bambi-legged, so it doesn't take much to make me really sore and be sore for a lot of days. And actually, I thought like, all right, if I do a workout on Tuesday and I only do like 4 exercises, make it pretty chill, 3 sets of each, like it shouldn't be too much. Boy, was I wrong. Going into Friday, I was so sore still that I had to like thoroughly warm up and loosen up before my practice round, just because I was like, just swinging the golf club hurt so much. My lats were sore, my shoulders, everything. It's all beat up. Didn't really matter once I started running hard. So it's all good. But anyways, it's going to take a little time to get used to gym workouts again. But that's great, you know. We're back at it. That's all that matters. Wednesday we got outside, got 5 miles outside, 45-minute trail run over at Red Rock Canyon. Red Rock Canyon's my special place, my happy place. I love running those trails. And it's so convenient. It's like a 4-minute drive from my house. Park there. Got that links all the way into. I can connect a long run into the Captain Jack's, which is this massive like trail system for mountain biking, dirt bikes, hiking, all up in these mountains. I can link into Bear Creek Regional Park. I can link that, I think, into Stratton Mountain open space and run over near Cheyenne Mountain. I can go the other direction from Red Rock Canyon. I can link that to Iron Mountain, Red Mountain, and even go all the way over to the incline, plug into Bar Trail, go up Pikes Peak. All from the same parking lot, all from the same thing. So I like that spot. That's like my spot. And I know it real good. So I go there Gets a little technical, but not technical enough to where I'm worried about my ankle all the time. So that's really key. Confidence is key. So yeah, Wednesday, just got that 5 miles in. Felt great, keeping things relaxed. Let's see what the average heart rate was. I think I was a little tired that day or something. I think I ran in the afternoon. Yeah, I ran at almost 6 p.m. So let's see. Heart rate data. Come on, Strava. Give me all the information. I want all the infos. Heart rate. Here we go. Average heart rate, 139. That's what we're talking about. Now we're getting aerobic. When I first came back, just going for easy jogs, like, people get obsessed with aerobic heart rate. Like, as soon as you figure that out, you're like, oh, I want to really stay in my aerobic zones. I need to make sure that I'm doing the right work, which, yes. But at the same time, like, if you're coming out of doing nothing, like, your heart rate's just going to be a little higher. And you just got to accept it. Like, it's about getting the reps in, and then once you have a baseline of fitness, if you have to start adjusting your heart rate numbers to get, like, the demands that you want to start putting in some aerobic focus, you really want to dial in, you want to start building mitochondria like we talked about, you want to start utilizing oxygen and fat as a fuel source, if that's what you want to do, you want to really focus on your slow twitch muscle fibers, is that what you want to do? You type 1s? Yeah. You can start adjusting your heart rate zones to try to cap your heart rate and keep it really low. But if you're coming from like nothing, you're sitting on the couch and you just want to start exercising, you want to start running, like, you can't worry too much about heart rate right off the bat. Like, if you're like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to run for 15 minutes. Like, odds are your heart rate's going to be really high. You're going to have high heart rate's going to skyrocket, and you just need to get the reps in. You're not going to do that every day, right? You're going to run a couple times a week, 3 times a week maybe. But if you're like, all right, I'm going to start right off the bat, and I'm going to try to stay aerobic. Like, you're going to go for walks. Like, your progress is going to be, like, stunted right off the bat. So the last little bit, I've just been focusing on getting the reps in, running well. And it's not like my heart rate was like 170 or something, but my heart rate was a little higher than what I was used to seeing. And it was because, like, I'm just not used to running. But now that we have a base, right? Or not a base necessarily, but we have history now. We have groundwork laid out. Now I can be like, okay, now I'm going to start focusing on keeping my heart rate at a certain cap. Like, really, really trying to work aerobically so that I work on that specific focus for a while. And yeah, so that's good. And seeing that 139 average, that's awesome. Now, I think I just have a smaller heart than a lot of other athletes. Like, I've done a lot of aerobic specific work. I've done metabolic testing to know what's going on in my body. And I haven't done that recently, but I know my history. I know what the tests have said and how similar each test was. There's slight variances, right? So I know if I'm usually in shape, I'm keeping my heart rate under 150, like, I am primarily aerobic and I am in a great spot. I am burning tons of fat. I am utilizing oxygen, and I am in an extremely sustainable place. So I kind of am basing my numbers off that right now. I want to get some metabolic testing done, but I don't think it's worth doing necessarily until we get a little more history. So maybe like early next year, we'll kind of run some tests. I actually have this really cool unit that I haven't messed with too much because right when I got it, I kind of stepped away from sport. But Sean Coakley is a fascinating human being. He's like one of the world's leading breathing experts, breath experts. He works with endurance athletes. He works with free divers. Free divers are insane. Like, I don't know if you ever looked into free diving competitions. They're mad. Like, there's the ones in the ocean where you like swim really far down. You go to a certain depth and you come back up. But there's also almost like breath holding competitions where you do it inside. They might have outside versions of it too, but there's the ones where you do laps in a pool. You swim maximum distance on a single breath. Or there's just you go down, you hold your breath for as long as you can. There's all these safeties around it because obviously when you're pushing the limits of what your body can do without breathing, like, you might die. Anyway, when you're pushing those limits, it gets wild. But look into some free diving competitions and look at what people are doing. That's fascinating stuff. And then look at some of the work that Sean Coakley's done. He worked with Aerofit. which is a really cool breath training device that has like a little sensor in it, so it can sense what kind of breathing you're doing. That's a really cool thing, good for like respiratory strength, respiratory flexibility, but also you can do certain training where you get comfortable working with your lungs empty or your lungs full. Aerofit has a ton of really cool workouts that you can do, good things to train on, and I feel like a lot of like mindfulness and control in my breathing when I'm training, when I'm running, when I'm carrying sandbags, whatever it is. Like I feel just like a control about it. You can, like, my breath never gets away from me. I'm never trying to catch my breath. I feel like I'm always like master of it. So yeah, Aerofit's really cool. But Sean Coakley helped a lot of their programming and design for them, and like the training programs and that sort of thing. He works a lot with freediving, like I said, but he has this other company. I don't know if it's his company or if he worked with the design on it, but it's called Caliber. And it's like a wearable device, but it's for respiration or ventilation. Like, so it's like a watch. You know, a watch can track your heart rate, your HRV, your body temp, all those things, and has algorithms to kind of track like how you're doing, what's your recovery like, how's your performance, all those things. The Caliber device apparently is a wearable. It's like a little wearable mask. It's really light. It's see-through, and it has a little breath sensor on it that can analyze, I think, your oxygen exchange, your ventilation, and it can kind of give you numbers there. I haven't played with it much, so I can't say everything on it, but I'm going to start messing around with it in the coming weeks. So I think that'll be really cool. Apparently you can do like lab grade testing on your own. It's not like a device that you can use as a coach, where you can give, you know, someone a test and then clean it off and reset the system and give someone else a test and that sort of thing. It's more like an individual wearable, a personal fitness measuring device. So I'm excited to see what that is. And you can wear it for like hours on end. Like, you can talk and breathe and exist normally while wearing this device. So if you wanted to get like, you know, ideas of what kind of fuels you're consuming on a day-to-day basis, get an idea of what like calories in and out are looking like in theory, you could wear this for 8-10 hours a day and get an idea of like what properly fueling your body would look like. So that's kind of a cool concept. Anyway, gonna be playing with that. And then I'm going to use that information to kind of establish if I have new heart rate zones, where we want to be training. I'm also going to be messing around, trying to understand a little bit more of ventilatory threshold, like VT1 and VT2. Some people do all their training based on that, right? So they don't use, they probably use heart rate, but for their zones, they have established zones based on ventilation rate, on respiration. So you can kind of track breathing and how much air and oxygen or just how much air you're moving in your lungs and how much you're consuming, how much you need. And as your respiration rate changes, you can see like, oh, there's a big, the major uptick in respiration here, or ventilation, I guess would be the right term. And they can mark that and be like, this is their first ventilatory threshold. This is where they're aerobic, right? This is a sustained, comfortable breathing, and it starts to elevate a little bit, and you can use that against normal like VO2 max testing. And I guess they've probably done a ton of research and kind of blended those numbers together. Anyways, we're getting lost in the sauce here. Way too far into the science. But anyways, going to be testing some equipment from Caliber, biometrics, and hopefully get some heart rate information and kind of understand where I should be now that we have a little foundation on us, and all that whole blab, that whole spiel on heart rate and training and all that stuff. Long story short, I'm going to focus on my aerobic development a little more in the weeks to come. That's the plan. Because it's been mostly on feel lately, staying comfortable, feeling, like I'm in a sustainable place, and the heart rate data kind of just reflecting what my effort was. rather than heart rate dictating my effort was just kind of what it was, and I would look back and kind of get an idea. We look at similar runs to, this 5 mile, 45-minute run, which is not very fast, it's pretty chill, a little bit of elevation gain, but average heart rate of 139. Like if we look at a similar run from weeks back, we're going to see an elevated heart rate. We're going to see like average heart rate is probably like 154, something along those lines. Similar effort, similar pace, but just cost is lowering right now because the body's getting more efficient. We are making those structural changes that we're looking for. So, how cool is that? I got way off topic there. And you know what? We're still growing podcast legs. We're still Bambi. We're still podcast Bambi. So give us some time. We'll figure this out. Anyway, let's jump forward to Thursday. Thursday, birthday, October 9th. Great date. You should celebrate it every year. We did a Speedgolf session at my golf course, Cherokee Ridge Golf Course, Colorado Springs. Visit it if you're in town. Great spot. I went out early in the morning before the first tee time. Went off at 7:20, and looks like I shot 75 in 48 minutes. So let's try to just get the last reps in, find what the feels are, get comfortable, and figure out like what are we hitting off the tee for the U.S. Open. What's our strategy? Just kind of gain a last little bit of confidence before we went out. And I did. Fortunately, I know that course like the back of my hand, so it's not necessarily like comparable to other golf courses just because I'm so comfortable at that place. I don't have to even look. I know where I'm at. I know my yardages from most places. It's just really efficient. But I went pretty fast. Like I wanted to test myself, and I only did it in 48 minutes, but I shot 75, so that's really good. That's 3 over for 18 holes. For those of you that don't know, even par is 72 strokes for an 18-hole golf course. Typically, there's exceptions to the rule, but I shot 75, and I was like, man, that is awesome. Like if I can shoot 75 and run in the 40s, like I'm going to be very competitive at this event. And I suddenly went from like, oh, this is going to be a learning experience to like, oh, let's try to compete. Let's try to do well. That was kind of the mindset when I was coming in. Got on my flight. I'm like, man, I'm going to dial in here. I'm going to be at sea level, so I feel like I'll be able to give a little more effort. I'll be a little faster. All these things, lots of hopes. Kind of went out the window pretty quick after that first round. Anyways, got to LA, left at 4:50 in the morning. 3:50, 4:50, 3:50. When did I leave? I was at 3:50. That's right. I left at 3:50 in the morning from LA to drive down to Temecula. It was a long drive. Got down there. They had a practice rounds, like speed golf running practice rounds going off at 6:30 in the morning. So I did not want to be late. Didn't want to catch any traffic. So I left early to make sure that, like, even if I did catch anything, I'd be fine. Because you never know in good old Los Angeles. So went out, ran with those two guys I was talking about, real cool individuals. Learned a lot in that little stint and just tried to figure out what the course was like, get an idea. Because a lot of it's efficiency. A lot of it's like how you're managing where your clubs are. Like you can't set clubs on the green. That's against the rules. That's like a 1 or 2 stroke penalty. So you have to put your clubs down. And a lot of people use different things. Some people use like light bags. Some people use like these little silos that you can clip 6 clubs onto. And some of those have stakes. Some people have holsters. There's all kinds of different concepts. There's not like a universal standard for how you carry your clubs. But if you want to put your clubs down near the green so that you can putt, you got to stick them somewhere off the green. And if you sometimes, like when you come up through the hole, you enter onto the green, you might have to run to the other side of the hole to put your clubs down so that you can pick them up on the way out. Or if you put them down on your way into the green, you might putt, grab your ball out of the hole, have to run back, get your clubs, and then take off. That's like a lot of wasted time in those situations. And similar things from where you're exiting the green to your route to the next tee box, whether you're going to tee up your ball or if you're going to put it right on the grass. All kinds of little things like that save you tons of time or can cost you tons of time. So on my practice round, I was like just trying to learn the course, know where I was going, so at no point did I waste any time making wrong turns, and know where I want to hit the ball. Because on that front 9, on this course, there was a lot of blind shots. Like you were just hitting and you had to kind of know where to go. So it was good to go out with someone that had played the course before, and obviously watching the world number one and how he operates was really, really cool. So really cool to see that. But yeah, so that was 5 miles of running on that course on Friday morning, and I just kind of took it easy the rest of the day. I knew I was racing the next day and the day after, so wasn't really worried about getting too much extra volume, anything like that. So I took my 5 miles and I was happy with it. Settled into the hotel, tried to take care of myself a little bit. So I've historically always had a lot of low back pain and tightness from running, just because my QL always locks up, my hip flexors are way too tight, I don't stretch enough, and my psoas can get out of control. So all those things make for like tight back, and I get this anterior pelvic tilt, which is like famous. So people that know what to look for, like when they've watched me run in the past, like you can see it. Like my pelvis tilts forward a lot, and that's just because my hip flexors are so freaking tight that I can't get like a wide hip angle. And in order for me to lengthen my stride and get my legs like flaring and firing out behind me, it means that I have to tilt my pelvis forward in order to be able to get that range of motion. So that leads to a lot of low back tightness, and it is what it is. I need to be better. That's a goal for the winter as well. Get some freaking hip mobility. But then, so we got low back from pain from running and low back tightness, and now we're adding golf, okay? Which is a rotational movement where you torque your body one direction, coil up, and then you release all that effort and work the other direction while keeping your head still, rotating your shoulders, turning your hips, all this rotational force on your spine that builds more tension. So now I got golf, which is terrible for your back, and then I got running, which the way that I do it has historically been terrible for my back. Awesome. So my back is in shambles right now. And going into the event, I knew my back was just going to be messed up, just low back. Specifically one spot on the right side is really locked up right now, but what are you going to do? So it was tough. It was a little tough on the back this last couple days. So I mainly tried to just keep that loose, like do a little mobility, dig into it with my hands and do the best that I could to keep me kind of holding together on Friday going into Saturday. Then Saturday got there early. I was taking off fourth. I think they kind of overestimated my abilities right off the bat. Like, I'm a good golfer and I was a good runner, not as good of a runner anymore. So they put me fourth behind 3 of the best guys in the world, and I had fast, experienced guys behind me, and I was like, man, I don't want to get caught. And almost right off the bat, 8 or 9 holes in, I started getting caught. Let's rewind here. So a lot of the guys coming knew oh, this guy's come from a good Spartan career, he's a good athlete, obstacle racing guy, and got a couple world championships. So you assume oh, this guy's the shit right off the bat. I don't think they really know hey, I've only been running since August, and I was pretty cold turkey before that, not necessarily conducive to being the fastest guy there, which I think eventually I will be, but right now, no. So they put me up with the fast dudes right off the bat, and they start people every 3 minutes. So at 7 a.m., someone took off 7:03, 7:06, 7:09, VeeJay Jones teeing off at the U.S. Open. And I did. Started off really well. Felt like I was running well. Stride was opening up, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Conserved a little bit on the hills and really executed on downhills and just tried to navigate the terrain well. But still, just hesitant. Not really sure about, can I hit the ball really well if I'm running super hard? If my heart gets elevated, if I get fatigued, am I still going to make contact well? And then, yeah, just kind of going in blind. But kind of felt it out. going through that first day and thought things were going really well. Was hitting the ball like what I thought was pretty well, but not good enough. I ended up losing 3 golf balls in 10 holes and just had some issues there. The golf wasn't holding up, and when I lost the golf balls, I would take time to look for them, and that lost a lot of time to the guys that started behind me, and the guys behind me were pretty good at this, right? One guy was a little newer, which was Will Robson from the UK. He was two start times behind me, so 6 minutes behind me, and then one guy behind me. He started 3 minutes back, but he started catching me on the 9th hole. Like I started seeing him, just because I kept looking for golf balls, and that wastes a ton of time. And if you hit the ball more times, like that takes a lot of time too, right? Obviously, hitting the ball less saves you a lot of time, obviously. But I started getting caught. He ended up catching me by the 11th hole, and I didn't really know how to deal with that. Like, you're supposed to let them by. Like, the people behind you have priority because they're going faster than you. If they've made up that ground, it means they're going faster than you. So he started catching me. I try to stay out of his way, but I'm still trying to make forward progress. And at one point, I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do this. So I got on a par 3, and he teed off right before me, and I just waited. I just stood there for whatever the 90 seconds to 2 minutes that it took for him to play. And the guy behind him was even faster than him, so he was catching him. So then by the time I teed off, Will's starting to catch me now. So then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of in no man's land, and I'm not hitting the ball great. I'm not scoring great, and I'm starting to get caught, and I didn't really know what to do. So I'd already lost 2 minutes off my normal running time right there. Then I'm hitting, and then like Will's trying to come up behind me too. So then I start letting him catch up and taking my time so that he can get forward, because I like the guy. I want him to perform well. He seemed pretty cool, and he was clearly moving really well. So I put him out. I was like, go in front, get out of the way. And then I ended up actually, after I let both of them by, I started catching both of them. I started hitting past them, and then like starting to run up on them. So I didn't really know what to do. So then again, I ended up just waiting, killing a bunch of time and killing, the extra little bit of time I might have saved. So that was unfortunate, and that's like just experience. Like, I didn't really know how to handle that, and I talked to some guys afterwards, and then before the round on the second day, like, how am I supposed to handle that situation, being around people? And realistically, like, you just got to play. You got to play your game and not impede other people. So even if people are around you, people are next to you, people in front of you, you hit. Dog interrupted me. Whatever. So like I was saying, you just have to play through. Like, you have to prioritize yourself, and if people are, say someone's like running up to the green and you're ready to hit, like, you just hit. And if it's going to end up hitting them, then you yell 4, and they got to get out of the way, and you run the risk. But it's a little dangerous. So that was weird. Like, coming from like normal golf, like, you don't hit at people. Like, if there is even a chance of you hitting someone, you don't hit. So that's kind of what I came in with, but that's not how you do it. So day 2 approach was much different. But anyways, I wasted a lot of time. And I just kind of checked out by the end. I knew I was scoring really poorly. I knew I didn't even have a shot of being close, and it was just kind of embarrassing, really. I was getting frustrated, and I was just kind of embarrassed, like thinking, I'm decent at golf, I'm decent at running, I'm not executing, doing both of these at the same time. So, pretty sad. So yeah, day 1 ended it. I ended up running in like 51 minutes and change for 18 holes, and then I shot 86, which was 15 overs, par 71. And I was just like, this is so bad. This is such a poor performance. And I got out of there right away. Like, I finished, picked up my clubs, went to the car, loaded up, got out of there. I just needed to leave, vacate the space. And it was frustrating, really frustrating. I knew I wasn't the best there, obviously, but I just thought, like, I had a little more to give than that. And we didn't execute. So that was unfortunate. Talked to some people about it. Kind of didn't want to go back for the second day. I was just like, man, I'm not ready for this. But then my buddy Roddy said, hey, like, you need to get the reps in. Like, that's just how it is. You have to go out. You have to get your reps in. You have to get used to it, and that's how you're going to learn. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't like that you're right, but you're right. So yeah, decided to go back second day. So they reorganized the sheet, and they reversed the order of the tee sheet. So the slowest went out, or I guess, so Speedgolf is scored with your minutes combined with your strokes. So every stroke equals a minute. So overall, let's see. Let's pull up the scores, and I can give you an exact idea of what we were looking at. So speed score here, VJ Jones. So round 1, and they give time par to each hole, which is interesting. I think that's based on yardage or something. They probably have some formula for that. I don't know what it is. But I went, so time par is the first hole is 407 yards, is 2 minutes 36 seconds is par. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is par for the next hole. 251, 233, pretty interesting. So yeah, so there's time par and then there's score par, typical golf. But par for the course is 48 minutes 32 seconds. That's the professional average rating for running that course. And then obviously it's a par 71. So I had 86 strokes and I ran it in 51 minutes and 36 seconds. You combine those together, that's 137.36. 37.36 for the seconds. So that means we're 18 over Speedgolf terms, which was not competitive at all. But it is what it is. It's tough, but we wanted to improve, come back, give it another try the next day, learn. Obviously we were bottom of the barrel, right? We were the worst. I mean, we weren't last place or anything, not by a long shot, but it's just hey, it couldn't be worse the next day. I already embarrassed myself. The worst thing that happens is you embarrass yourself again. Whatever. It's the same. So go back, give it another whirl. So yeah, round 2, day 2. Go out, and my main goal is don't lose golf balls, 1, and just be efficient. If you are going to lose a golf ball, take your drop and get moving. We need to not waste time. The reason I was talking about how the way it's scored. So after the first day, I was in 15th place in the open division. So 15th, and they reverse the tee sheet, right? So now the people with the higher speed golf score going first, and it gets lower. So that meant that all of the people that finished better than me on day 1 were now going to be behind me, trying to run me down. And I was great. I thought at least I wouldn't have to battle fast people being behind me again. The opposite. All the guys that were faster than me were behind me. So I was oh my goodness, I really got to figure out, I got to move just faster today. So my goal was don't get caught and don't lose golf balls. We accomplished one of those goals. We took off, was hitting the ball pretty well, keeping things in play. I ended up losing a golf ball on the 11th hole. I hit a draw on the previous hole, and I thought I'm going to do that same golf swing, So I came, hit that shot, tried to turn it over, started up the right side, and it was a little fade. The ball was moving from left to right instead of right to left. And I just hit it right into the trees. Wasn't real. I think I could have found it if I would have looked for it for a minute, but a minute is a stroke, right? So I might as well just take the stroke penalty and save myself a minute on top of the stroke in case I don't find it. So took my drop, hit, wasn't great. Yeah, it happened. Lost 1 golf ball on the day, but that's way better than 3 the first day. But was moving a lot more efficiently too. I had a putter on me the first day, and I missed a lot of putts anyway. Those greens were really tough to figure out. They were fluffy, they were grainy, and they were slow in some ways, yet super fast downhill. I didn't understand what was going on. It was really bizarre. And fumbling around with the putter, switching from wedge if I'm chipping, missing greens, and then going to figuring out switching to putter or carrying both clubs, and then it was a lot, and I think it wasted a lot of time, so I didn't even bring the putter today. I just went straight, just putt with the wedge, like hit the iron in the middle of the ball, get it to roll smooth, and figure it out. And we had a lot less putts today, scored better on putts, and we were more efficient around the greens, speed-wise. So that was really good. And yeah, that was just a good choice. We were a lot more efficient in the way we were moving, a little more confident in just like hitting the ball, moving on. And we moved a lot better. Like, I don't know if I made up all that time in just running or if there's some efficiency. Yeah, yesterday we did the round in 51 minutes 36. Today we did the round in 45 minutes 49. So almost 6 full minutes faster today. And that's a massive improvement. Like, that's a huge improvement. Like, if you would have thought like, oh, he did 51 minutes yesterday, he could probably knock off a minute, maybe 2. Like 6 minutes. So imagine if we do that again next time. It's possible. So that was a massive improvement, and that means we went under time par for the course, right? Time par was 48 and change, I think, on that course, and we ended up doing it 45-49. So we did really well. Almost 3 minutes under the time par, and then strokes, we were 4 strokes better, but still not shooting great. So 11 over, 82. It was close. Like, we were close there. A couple mistakes, just silly mistakes, bad chips, a couple things I just left short that I didn't need to, and a couple things I hit too far. Like, the golf ball, for my fitness people, golf ball flies farther at altitude. There's less air. There's less wind resistance. So the golf ball flies a lot farther, and it shapes less. So when you try to shape a shot at sea level, it's a lot easier to shape it. So I would hit like what I thought was a little fade, and it would turn into like a twice as much fade as I thought. So sometimes I'd miscalculate. One time I had like 140 in on a hole, and I'm like, oh, like this should be perfect at sea level for pitching wedge. Let me hit pitching wedge up there, and I would airmail the green to send it right over the back. So just wonky little things you got to try to figure out, right? So a little bit of adjustment there. I'll have to practice like knowing what my numbers are. But improvement, right? 86 the first day, 82 the second. 4 strokes better there, and then 6 better from day 1 time to day 2 time. So 10 overall, 10 speed golf points better on day 2. So really good. Like, big improvement. I was much happier after the second round than the first round. First round I was pretty embarrassed, pretty upset. And this time I was like, okay, like, it was better. It was improvement. And that's what we're looking for. So we learned a lot. I have some ideas for improving things moving forward, like maybe some equipment changes, maybe a little bit of like strategy as far as keeping my clubs on me so I don't have to drop my clubs, putt the hole, and then come back and pick up my clubs and take off again. Like, I feel like that could save me 8 to 10 seconds per green, right? And there's 18 greens. Like, that's a lot of opportunity. So yeah, I got some ideas. I'm looking forward to doing another one next year and kind of figuring that out. But it was good to get my feet wet, understand what I'm getting into, but it was a little tough to hop into the US Open for my first one and have some of the best players in the world there. Like, oh, welcome. Thanks for trying this. This is the world champion. This is the world number 1. And this is the record holder, the world record holder. And this is the 9-hole speed record holder. Have fun. So that was a little tough. But it's good to compare against the best and know what you have to do if you want to be one of the best. So cool. Speed golf was cool. And they put on a really good event. There's a lot of really cool people involved with it, and like tons of volunteers from the community and stuff. So I kind of want to start a speed golf club in Colorado Springs and get some people involved there, because it's really cool. It is a really, really cool thing to experience, and it's really efficient. And how else are you going to go out and play 18 holes in an hour in the morning, before work? You got speed golf. So you got to get some courses on board in Colorado Springs and start doing it. But yeah, I was pretty happy with it. I'm going to kind of break down. I haven't really dug in to see what kind of paces I was running in that second round to see like what kind of pace were we running. We were running to our first or second shot down the fairway. Like, what were we capable of? Just to get an idea what kind of paces I want to hit in workouts and stuff like that. But like I said, main focus now is aerobic energy system building. We got to get there. If we want to be competitive in any races next year or even speed golf, got to lay the foundations now. And figure it out, right? So just volume building. And this week, even though it was supposed to be kind of a tapered week with a couple like speed golf rounds, we still ended up hitting 35 miles this week, which is great. You know, like last 3 weeks of average there, yeah, this felt like a really low intensity week anyway, especially with the running. Like, you run and then stop and then run and then stop, so it's not that intense. So I think we'll be able to jump right back into training next week. I think we can push up towards 40 miles. I'd like to try to get 40 miles this week. I don't think that's too much to ask, because we were planning on doing the 2 up, 1 down cycles for weeks, 2 up volume weeks and 1 down, but this week felt really easy. I don't feel like it cost my body anything besides my low back tightness and pain from speed golfing. So I think we can just jump right into the next 3-week cycle. So we'll go 2 up on the next weeks, and then back 1 down. So we'll probably go like 40, and then maybe like 42 to 44, and then we'll drop it down back to probably like a 35 or something like that. So that's the training plan. That's the training recap, and then a little bit of recap on the speed golf as well. We got a few minutes left here, so why don't let's dig into a little bit of Spartan Super World Championships, shall we? I watched the coverage, really happy to see that the OCR report went with a live to tape or like a post-production. That's necessary. And I think they should do that 95% of the time. Rarely do they have good enough service to actually get like the coverage that they want and be able to live broadcast it. I know that's the dream. I know they want Saturday morning obstacle racing. Like, that's the dream of the OCR report. We're just not there yet. And at the same time, if you're going to do a live coverage, if you're going to watch 90 minutes of people racing, you need to be able to watch 90 minutes of people racing. I don't want to watch 30 minutes of people racing and miss the other half hour staring at a tree waiting for someone to come along, right? And that's where we're missing, is like the rabbits can't keep up really. Some can, some cannot. And I think that a shorter cut together production, a 20-minute coverage of the race is better than a 60-minute coverage of the race where I only get to see 20 minutes, yet I have to wait for the next opportunity to see the racing. You need to keep people engaged, right? What's the popular social medias right now? Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. Like, everyone's such short form content consumption that if you have a blank space for 2 minutes where nothing's going on, that no one's going to care. People are going to tune out. People are going to check out. And this is my main thing with what Spartan is doing. Spartan not putting effort into their own product. Like, they let the OCR report do what they're doing. I don't think they're supporting the OCR report at all. They're just allowing them to cover it for free because Spartan's like, oh, they'll do it for free. Why not? Imagine someone caught wind that there is a Spartan World Championship happening, or it happened last weekend in Mammoth. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, I love Mammoth. I go skiing there. And they ran that? Let me look that up. What was that like? And they go search the, Spartan Super World Championships or Spartan World Championship Mammoth. And they get popped up with, the live coverage from it. So then they click that and they watch it. And their first intro to the sport is, like kind of plain coverage. The OCR report's doing well. They're doing the best that they can with what they have, and honestly, they're putting together a great product for what they can afford to do and what they have, what's available to them. But in the grand scheme of things, when you look at what Hirox is doing, or you look at past Spartan coverage, like half of the live coverages that they try to do are really blurry and shaky, and the cameras aren't pointed the right way half the time. And then in this one, like half of the time you're watching athletes, but like the first 10 minutes of the live broadcast is like a bunch of stuff going on that people aren't interested in. There's no racing going on. They're doing a really slow recap of what the course is. And then you watch people sit at the start line for another 2 minutes, and then they start running. And then they run up, and then you don't see them for minutes at a time. And then they come through, you watch them run down a corner, hit an obstacle, run off, and then you don't see them anymore. And it's like, if that's someone's first intro to the sport, they're going to be like, well, this obviously isn't very serious because it doesn't look that great. Like, professionalism in the way you present the sport reflects the professionalism of the sport. And if you can't do one, then I'd rather see just short form quality content recapping the event rather than a live coverage of it at all. Because then I know if someone goes to watch this or someone wants to check it out, at least what little they'll get to see is, represents the sport in a really good light. The live coverage with no one watching there, I think there was one spectator at the start line. No one was there. It makes it look like a dead sport, or like something that no one takes serious. I'd rather see no coverage than coverage that reflects poorly on the place the sport's at. And I think that's Spartan's fault. Like, Spartan could put a little effort into that. They could put a little more into showcasing this thing that they've built, and they just don't care. I'm hoping in the next year that they actually start to care and they take advantage of the things available to them, or maybe they support the OCR report and they're like, hey, we're going to provide you a couple rabbits and a little bit of extra equipment for this event. Use what you need to create a good product, to showcase our product in a good light. Yet they just don't care. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it, on the coverage and everything like that. But I enjoyed watching the race. I did it on my treadmill run. I was just taking it all in, checking it out. I thought like the European team brought some grit. They had really cool with the bucket carry into the Herc hoist and the chain carry and all those things. Like, that added a little bit of grit, which I think was lacking in recent years. And I was happy to see that. The only thing is like, Eugenio's a good athlete. He just races really poorly for some reason. He does the same strategy every time and continues to lose because of it. Joshua Reed's a good athlete. But I wonder if watching that event, seeing how everything went, I wonder if some people are going to see that and think, I think I'm going to do that. Like, I wonder if Atkins is sitting there holding his baby, watching Mammoth, and was like, I think I could have made $7,000. Maybe I should. I wonder if there's some people thinking the same thing. Like, maybe I should have showed up to that. Because no, like, disrespect to the athletes, but I think someone like Atkins or someone in that category probably could have won that race. Joshua made a mistake and failed an obstacle. And then Eugenio's walking into monkey bars, man. He's running a mountain race, and he stops to walk before the monkey bars at a world championship. What are we doing? That was like halfway through the race, too. Anyway. I think some people are going to look at that and be like, oh, I should probably just at least show up next year because I could probably win that. And I think, like, they're like, oh, no one's going. I might as well go. But then I'm thinking that Atkins might think the same thing. You might get a couple guys that were like, oh, I think I could compete in that. I think I could at least podium there. And then next year, suddenly, like, you went from nobody to like, oh shit, there's like 6 like really solid guys here. Which I hope happens. I hope you get like a really competitive field at that event next year. That'd be a lot of fun. Because I want to go do that event myself. So that's my reflection on the men's side. Women's side, any doobie, just out there trotting up mountains, making them look like they're not steep. What else? What else is new? It's really impressive. Obstacles look tricky. Like, it looked like there was some frost on some obstacles, like especially Bender. that looked sketchy. I'm glad no one got hurt there. But cold weather racing is tough, man, especially on those cold metal obstacles. Like once you lose the feeling in your fingertips, like it's tough. One time I was doing obstacles at a Spartan race, I think it was in Arizona, and like this was when I went through the dunk wall once, and it had ice frozen over it, and we had to break through the ice. That was gnarly. But on the monkey bars, I actually grabbed one of the monkey bars and my finger folded underneath the rest of my fingers. Like I bent the knuckle and went over the monkey bar like that, and I couldn't even tell. I did like 2 rungs like that because my fingers were so cold I couldn't feel it at all. So I was just smashing my knuckle into the monkey bars, like hanging my weight on a bent finger, a folded finger. And that was, yeah, cold obstacles are tough. But yeah, shout out to the athletes that did show up to that event. I'm glad to see there is still some buy-in, like still got some elite men and women competing, and that's what we need. And hopefully like these Spartan guys from Europe really help put together something good for next season. Like the races themselves look pretty good. It's just there's zero buy-in and there's zero investment in their own product. And that's a management thing. That's a business thing. The race itself seems like the people that are building the races, those are still good. They're still the same thing. You just need buy-in from both the organization and the athletes. So that's that. But let's flip that coin from, terrible coverage to some of the best coverage and sporting in this space that I've seen. Hirox Hamburg. My goodness. The new arena looks insane. It looks incredible. Their presentation of everything, the intro of the athletes, the finish line area, it's awesome. It's unbelievable. And it looks like they have big professional television cameras around the arena. Like they're legit about their broadcast. Like that's TV ready right now. They're doing it on YouTube, but I'm sure that they could pick up a television network and create a full quality product that is ready for television tomorrow. It's amazing. So shout out Hirox for just doing it right, improving their product every single year, improving the sport, taking feedback, trying to make a better system, and just being professional, growing their brand, growing their sport, and creating a movement. And they highlight the athletes, they highlight the community, they build something there, and there's buy-in. It's almost like they prioritized, showcasing their product in the correct light and actually knowing what their brand is. What a concept. I called Dylan Scott a while ago. I think the first time I raced him was in West Palm at the DecaFit. I actually beat him there, dude. I write that on my resume. I beat Dylan Scott at a DecaFit in West Palm. So that was pretty dope. I called this. I told Jack Bauer a long time ago. I was like, Dylan Scott is the kind of guy that's going to be the best at this, and I think he will be. Like, he realistically probably trains too much to have like a really long career, but if he can master it in the short term, might as well. But his build, his body type, like that's what's going to excel. Having enough power to do the heavy movements, but then still being a lean, efficient machine like that, he's going to be so good. And he lost that race because of the wall balls. Like, he was better. He was the athlete on the day in my mind. And he just does his wall balls with his feet or his knees too far in or his feet too close together. So when you see he gets to the bottom of the wall balls, his low back has to round in order to make room for his legs because his torso has to bend around his thighs. That's why when you go in a wider stance, you can keep your torso straight so that you don't have to arch and fold and collapse in your low back and your lumbar. You can just bounce right out of the slot, stay in the position, and pop up. I feel like it was literally a form problem. That's why his reps are so slow, because he starts squatting up, his legs come up and out, he starts going, yet his back is bent. He's not like braced well, so then he kind of folds in his middle of his back and he goes, what? And then he comes up and finishes the wall ball. But he has to do that pause to let his upper body catch up to where his lower body's at, and he stands back up and then he throws the ball. And he goes back down and he does it all over again. And it's just a slowness of reps. It's not like a lack of being able to squat or anything, or being able to do them faster. It's just that I don't think he physically can with where he has his legs positioned. But that's just the opinion of some, ex-obstacle course racer. What do I know? Anyways, Dylan Scott, what a stud. And all those guys really so competitive. Those guys are so good at what they do, and the buy-in from the athletes is crazy. Like, they dedicate their lives to this now. And it's really cool to see. What an event. What a product. They're doing really cool things over there. And I'll tune in to watch every major. It's so exciting. It's so cool. I don't want to do it because I want to be outside. I want to race trails. I want to mob down hills. I want to bob and weave between trees. I want to roll my ankle on rocks and roots. That's just where I want to be. So Hirox not for me. The putter's penalty was just heartbreaking. Watching, I was very impressed with her the whole race. I was like, man, she's moving. And then even on her wall balls, she broke a lot, but her cycle rate was so fast. She'd bounce out of the pocket faster than anyone else there. She would go like bang, 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 bang through 10 reps, 12 reps, and then just have to stop. But then she, her breaks along with doing the wall balls were almost as fast as people that went unbroken, at least from a visual standpoint. If she can figure out the wall ball situation and carry that rep speed, that's incredible, because realistically you can only go so fast on wall balls. I don't think that it's that anyone has to go a slower rate in order to be sustainable. I think there might be a touch of that. You might be able to go a couple % faster, but it's about what you physically can just do. How fast does your body naturally go through the range of motion and toss the ball up? Because the ball only moves as fast as the ball moves, right? Gravity can only bring it back down as fast as it can. But if your rep on the squat is as fast as hers were, that's going to be really cool to see. I think it's going to be cool. Yeah, so that was heartbreaking to watch, though, seeing her get that penalty. I mean, if she skipped a lap on the run, it is what it is. You got to wear that one on the chin. But just having to sit there knowing that she probably ran a race that was good enough for third, yet she had to watch all those people come by her. Kind of a bummer. But that's racing. You can't be making mistakes like that. It's the rules. You got to run 5 laps in order to get 1,000 meters. If you run 4 laps, you only ran 800 meters and you didn't do the full run. So figure that out. Be better. But yeah, it was tough to watch there. But yeah, that's the recap of the week. Training's good. Running's going to start coming around. I'm excited to just focus on that. Gym is tough. Gym is a little rough right now, and we're traveling in California, but going to get a little fitness in this evening after the Speedgolf this morning, and just kind of add on to the volume for the week and see what we can do next week. I want to start getting 3 gym workouts in a week, get into some strength building. I want to be stronger than I've ever been, as well as faster than I've ever been. I want to get my deadlift up to 400 pounds, and I want to go run a sub 15-minute 5K next year. I don't know if I can do that that fast. I probably need some history. I might need to save that for 2027, but I might as well give it a go. I might as well see if we can get that kind of speed, get rolling. So I'm excited for it. Really going to focus on the lifting, get some good squats in, get a good deadlift, and coming up soon, I'm going to publicly call out Jack Bauer, and him and I are going to race to a 1-arm pull-up. I think he has the advantage right now, but I have the determination. Okay? So we're going to try to get that 1-arm pull-up done before Dubai Games next season. I want to be able to do a 1-arm pull-up by the time we go to Dubai. The gravity's probably different over there, but it doesn't matter. We'll be strong enough to do it anyway. So that'll be sweet too. But thanks for tuning back in. This podcast was a little bit of a mess. But that's life. Life's a mess too. And I know the video looks kind of crap, but we'll be back in the studio next week. And we're still recording, even though we're traveling. I'm bringing this mic everywhere with me, and we're going to get episodes in every week. Because if I don't do the episode, then you guys will think that I didn't train and I didn't do the things that I said I was going to do. I need to let you guys know that I'm doing it. I'm accountable, and I'm there. Okay, so don't doubt your boy. A little more progress being made on the Training Peaks, right? I'm gonna release a 12-week volume builder, and then I'm gonna transition the previous 8-week OCR WC strength guide that I had onto Training Peaks, and I'm building all those workouts in Training Peaks, which takes some time. But what I like about the Training Peaks format is when you do a program or when you get a workout, it syncs with your watch, and then your watch will dictate the workout to you. So if you got a 3x5 or like a 5x3 minute, and then you have a 5x90 second workout, you don't have to personally look at your watch constantly and time those things. You can just start your watch. It's going to dictate your warm up, your reps, and your rest, and all you have to do is listen to the workout. It'll tell you what to do the whole way through. So building all those workouts in Training Peaks is going to be really cool. I'm excited for it, and it should be really good. So I will make an announcement when that happens. Hopefully I can get a couple of those finished this week. It's a lot of work, as well as editing the podcast and rebuilding the website. There's a lot of stuff going on, but we'll keep up on it. So, again, thank you all for listening. If you made it this far, you're a champ. Subscribe to the show, so that you never miss out on a VeejayCast episode. So, I will catch you next week, same place, same time. Peace.